schedule the front part of the season heavier to make sure we take care of those people. So we've done everything right in this motorcycle program. And question 12, this is one we'll spend a little time talking about, or statement 12, so you understand where this came about and what we're trying to accomplish. You know that in 2008 there were 200,387 motorcycles registered in Indiana, each of which paid $7 into the Indiana Motorcycle Operator Safety Education Program, a non-reverting dedicated fund generated by motorcyclists and not general fund dollars, which would amount to $1,402,709. $7 a piece times 200,000, $1.4 million. Pretty fair chunk of change. Do you know that even though the budget appropriates only $1,024,484 in each year of this biennial budget, even less, only $655,000 is allowed for use to actually conduct this life-saving training for riding. Okay, let's get this into digestible bites. It's a dedicated fund, which means once we put our $7 in, it can only be spent for 3 things, all related to motorcycle training. They can't spend it to fix roads, they can't spend it to build a new stadium. It's dedicated for this purpose. So it's a dedicated fund. Non-reverting means that if we don't spend it this year, it doesn't just spill back over into the general fund. It stays right here in this dedicated fund. So, as of right now at least, we're confident that our money is still there. But we can't get it. Because the budget, which is established every 2 years, last year in the General Assembly, constitutionally the General Assembly is required to develop a budget for the state. And if you watched TV last year or were here last year, you know that they didn't get that done in time. They had to come back for what they call a special session. They had to extend the session to get that work done because they were arguing about how to establish the budget, what money to spend. Should we use the reserves or the rainy day money? What should we do? How can we predict what kind of revenues we're going to have? All of those were things they were arguing about. But they have to, constitutionally, they have to create a budget. When they do that, they figure out how much money we've got and what we got to do with it. So we got this much money, we got these things to do, well, we're going to allow this much for that. They make these appropriations. So even though we collected from motorcyclists last year $1.4 million, they're only going to allow just over $1 million. That's the allocation, the appropriation. Now, that is available to the DOE that administers this program for this activity. However, the contract that was just requested through DOE provides for only $655,000 for this training. So, I mean, literally, do the math. There's a pretty big chunk of money that they've collected from us. They're not letting us have all of it. Now, I liken this to, you know, your grandma sends you $50 for your birthday, but mom's going to hold it for you. You know, you can have $10 to buy a toy, but we're saving the rest of this for school clothes. You know, they're going to hold that for you. They're holding it for us, and it's still ours. They aren't supposed to do anything else with it, and hopefully they won't raid it, because then we'll have a whole new set of problems. But it's still over there, but we can't have it. We can't have access to it. We need to get the appropriations increased so we have access to more of that money so we can train more people. As it stands right now, we don't have it in our hand yet, but we expect to be granted the contract for rider education in the state this year. We're going to lose probably 3 locations around the state. For the last 30 years, ABATE of Indiana has been trying to increase access to rider education so more people can get it. Not take it away, but based on the numbers that we're going to be allowed, we're going to be forced probably to close 3 sites in 2010. So these are things they need to know, and that's why it's important for us to try to get the appropriations increased so we've got more access to more of those funds so we can train more people and continue reducing the fatalities. So it all sort of ties together. In closing, this is something that's more intended for them if you have to leave it, but it is reminding them in the Senate bills down at the bottom. Please offer your support of future motorcyclists during this session and beyond by supporting Senate Bill 31 to modernize the law concerning handlebar height and joining other legislators in recommending an interim